Good evening. My name is Eric McDonald, and this is for Shorty University Introduction to Communication 101. Tonight, I want to talk about the problem with ignorance in mental health in the United States. How mental health has become a severe crisis in our nation, and what can we do about it? Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Donny Hathaway, Abraham Lincoln, Kurt Cobain, Marilyn Monroe, Billie Holiday, Amadeus Mozart suffered from various mental illnesses, and the list continues to grow. The reason why I chose this subject is because I was diagnosed with severe depression and PTSD due to my being sexually assaulted in my childhood. I've attempted to commit suicide 19 times throughout my life. I ended up in many mental hospitals throughout my time. So these recent events, due to the shootings in Buffalo, as well as the shootings in Texas, it's time that I address it from my viewpoints and perspective. There's 3 points I want to talk about tonight. Mental health is a social issue, why many Americans ignore the problem, and what can you do to help. Mental health is a social issue. According to an article written in the Harvard Medical School website, Professor Ron C. Kelsey explains that nearly 60% of people ignoring their symptoms because they're afraid of being stigmatized means that they will not get treatment. Mental health has no respect of person. No matter your color, whether you are in the ghetto, rural, suburban, or upper class, nor does mental health value your age or education. Any form of mental health or mental illness, great or small, is open to all. Why do many Americans ignore the problem? According to the USC Center of Health Journalism, mental illness affects 1 out of every 5 Americans. In minority communities in particular, mental health is a severe problem because of the mistrust of mental health services, and the stigma associated with mental illness prevents individuals from getting the help they need. Some view mental illness, such as depression, which I suffer from, as a sign of weakness. Many tend to ostracize or even abandon those with a mental illness. Many in the general public receive false information from the media and other social outlets that the actual definition of mental health and what people can do to help. So it leads us to the bottom line. What can you do? Treatments for mental health in the United States must begin with what I would call EEU: empathy, education, and understanding. But it starts with you. Be empathetic and educate yourself on mental health basics. Try to be understanding. If that doesn't work for you, be patient with someone struggling with mental illness. You can help by just making yourself available. Without judgment or ridicule, just listen. Be a sounding board. If someone needs help and doesn't know where to begin, there are tremendous resources to get help that they need. Every situation is different, yet it's up to you to help save a life. Now, I don't know if I did well tonight on this speech, but as someone who suffers from mental illness, I just want to say that I'm not weak. It takes a lot of courage for someone to come up and do a video, which is not in the best of situations, but to do a video to talk about mental illness, especially a person that does have mental illness and who's working through his mental illness. It's not a sign of weakness. In my situation, it was a severe cry for help. And when you see someone dealing with mental illness, it's not weakness. Don't ostracize them. It's a severe cry for help. What are you going to do to help?